Every week, a new band. Brought to you by NZ On Air. Active Live!
Tēnā koe, you're on radioactive.fm and you're here on The Active Live. We're very, very excited to be here with the wonderful art rock trio Birdfeeder. We have Stephanie, Josh and Marley joining us today. Thanks so much for being here with us.
Thank you. We're very excited. A little bit nervous.
You have no reason to be nervous. We are particularly excited as well because I, first off, just really am excited to chat about what your show is. I just, all of the trailer and the press release and everything I've seen about has got me so excited, but I wanted to hear from you in your own words. Tell us about the show, the Fringe, the Fringe show that you're putting on.
Yeah, so the Veiled Isle is what it's called. It's a little bit of a hard one to describe. The best way we've come up with is calling it a visual album, a live visual album. So it's basically us playing some songs behind a massive screen, and then we have two puppeteers who are projecting shadows onto the screen of various objects and puppets and also shadows of us. So it's kind of, when I say all that, it might be kind of hard to picture. It's sort of what it looks like from the audience is almost like a black and white movie. It's got quite a cinematic kind of feel to it. So we also sort of call it an analog music video. And it's got a sort of a dreamy kind of flow to it. It's there's not really like a story as such, but it's just kind of like drawing on the songs and sort of making the songs like animated in like a visual way.
That is beautiful. Gosh, I'm really glad that I asked you. That was a very beautiful and concise description. Now, I want to talk about all of that. I want to talk puppets. I want to talk analog music videos. I want to talk all that good stuff. But first, shall we hear a track?
Okay, so we're going to play a song that is one of the first songs we made as a band together, and it's also on our EP and in the show.
Wonderful.
Okay. In an ocean of sand, I put to sea. I sailed through sand, and the sand became me. I was the sail, and the wind blowing round, breaking the legs of the corn bending down. We stopped in the town with the dusty corn bellies, with dusty corn bellies. We stopped in the town. My man, he stood up, and amongst all the crowd, his skin was as white as the belly of a trout.
Beautiful. Wow, that is so theatrical. I understand entirely why your music lends itself so well to that medium. That is awesome. So tell us a little bit about the journey that this project's been on, because now it is an award-nominated Fringe show, but obviously it's been through some things to get to there. Tell us about that journey.
Yeah, so I guess it starts with like the music wasn't like written to be in a show. It's just the songs that have emerged over like 2 or 3 years we've been playing together. So we recorded them, that was before we made the show. We recorded 5 songs for an EP and we called that The Vile Isle, because I just really wanted to be able to say The Vile Isle.
Understandable,
honest.
completely understandable.
And then the show came about because do you know Loomis Festival? It's actually about to begin. This year's festival is sort of a midwinter thing, so there's a bunch of different really fantastic events, musical, theatrical, culinary. So I just like out of the blue emailed Andy, who organises Loomis, was that last year? It was last year, eh? Yes, it was last year. And was like, can we do something? This is my band. This is the music. And then I just had like a great meeting with him where he was kind of like, yeah, love it. Do something. Cool. And I was like, really? We can just do a thing and you'll sort of back us? So then it kind of it sort of emerged that like this was an idea I've been thinking about for a while, doing a shadow show with the band. And then we sort of realized a lot of our songs take place in like a landscape. So sort of like, yeah, like just exploring that concept of like this landscape, this sort of inner landscape. Yeah. And we just collaborated with these 2 fantastic puppeteers who sort of just vibed off the songs and brought... Yeah, that was really great. They sort of listened quite closely to the lyrics and sort of thought about the meanings, and we like brought out images that sort of worked for each song. Yeah.
That is absolutely beautiful. I'm so intrigued by this landscape that you mention in your songs, because obviously, as you said, your songs weren't all written in tandem, but how do you find, because you, Stephanie, forgive me if I'm wrong here, but are the lead songwriter for the project, correct?
Yeah, like supported really closely by these other 2, but yeah, the songs sort of start in my brain.
Wonderful.
I think I'm quite interested in the idea of... the world we see, okay, we're going to get into some philosophical concepts now.
I love it. That's what we're here for.
The world we see isn't the world, it's the world inside our head. We're always projecting. And yeah, for me, it's the landscape thing and sort of like using the metaphor of like being in a landscape as an exploration of your own psyche, maybe.
That's very interesting. That projection of landscape that you see being projected through your art is an incredibly powerful thing. How do you find the right people to collaborate with on that?
Starting with Marley, our bass player, who, I'm sorry, I'm talking about you. We didn't want to be in the limelight. But we have been friends since the start of high school, and we were in a rock quest band together. So we hadn't made music together for quite a few years, but when I was like... wanting to start a band again, I was like, yeah, let's get back to this, because we've been working together creatively for ages and we just got a thing. And we know how to sound together as well. It's quite a practice thing. And then Josh, on the other hand, is my partner, so we've been in another band together as well. And again, we just kind of intuitively understand, what we're going to do sound-wise. It just happens. So it's very, very natural, us 3 working together.
Beautiful. I think that closeness must be important when you're projecting those kinds of themes. Having people who are close to you, who do understand you really well, I can imagine is why you make things together so well.
Yeah, I feel really safe like bringing songs out to the band. Yeah, I don't feel shy about it at all.
Awesome. Oh, that's really cool to hear. And how about Zoe and Paya, your 2 puppeteers? How did you come to collaborate with them?
I guess... So as well as doing music, I've done like a few theatrical things over the years, and most recently that's kind of been getting really interested in puppets. I know Zoe also because she's a good friend, but we did a puppet Fringe show a few years ago, and we were like let's definitely do more of this. And then Paya was almost like a last-minute ring-in when we were making the show, but she's just the perfect person. So Paya's from Czech Republic. She's got really, both of these people have really great sort of skills in like physical theatre. So that's, I guess some people don't know what physical theatre means, but it's things like clown, puppeteering, touches on sort of circus a little bit, mask work. So all these kind of like things that are not necessarily an actor on a stage. So these guys, they're just really great collaborators to bring in. Yeah.
Amazing. Guys, you sound like you're very interconnected in the theatre scene. Do you define these projects more theatre or musically in your mind? Like where do you see yourself?
Ooh, yeah, that's a cool question. If we didn't have to fit into the categories the world makes for us, maybe we wouldn't be either of those categories. I don't know if we're necessarily going to do like more theatrical shows like this in the future, but I'd definitely like to, because I just really enjoy just having these other dimensions to the music present. And I also enjoy the performance space that a theatre is, because it's people are sitting down and they're listening and they're paying attention, and that's just like you're like gold as a performer, like, oh, they're all listening to me.
It's very helpful, and sometimes hard to find when people are out and drinking at gigs and doing all the rowdy things.
I hate it.
Hey, fair enough. Your music lends itself better to a theatre environment for sure. Speaking of which, should we hear another track?
Yeah, so we're going to play another one from the show.
Awesome. I'm very excited to hear them. What's the title of this one?
This one is called Castle.
Castle.
I'm just going to change a few sounds around. Cool. Okay. In your castle is a window and it opens to a gate. The gate leads to an alley which drains into a grate. The pipes lead to the sewers, the rats go to their hole. The worms will eat your body and leave your mortal soul. Is a window and it opens to a door that only leads to passages where endlessly you walk, winding and intersecting. You pace the storied halls and you chew one mouthful over and over and over, but you don't need to. I came to tell you, you can let it all go. I came to tell you, you
Beautiful. Thank you, team. That was Castle there. Now, what was the name of the other track? I realised I didn't ask.
Ocean of Sand.
Thank you. Ocean of Sand. And we have Birdfeeder joining us in the studio right now. Thanks so much for being here, team.
Yeah.
I wanted to touch a little bit on the theatre space that we were just talking about. I know that you are no strangers to visual content and the concept of visual stuff because you've self-produced and directed your own music videos. Is that correct? For the past couple of music videos you've made?
Yeah, we've made like 1/2 music videos. One's sort of like a lyric video. And we're working on another one, but it's just taking so much longer this time round. We didn't really have. So our first one, Banana Boxes, was like very exciting to put out because it was the first time I'd seen, I don't know, people just jumped on it and watched it, and it was like, ooh, people paying attention. That's nice. It was really we just vibed it hard. Me and Marley just kind of, we didn't make a storyboard. We might have tried to, but we just diverged. We just kind of got some objects and clothes and stuff in a room and just kind of filmed a bunch of stuff. We also had the help of Sam Archer, who's Marley's partner, who does digital animation stuff, and Marley also did some great painting. So we had these kind of extra layers of animation and kind of sort of animated paintings almost with the live footage. So it was really great that we sort of just within our kind of group we've got that kind of capacity to make that kind of stuff. The next one's going to be quite sort of stop motion puppet kind of vibes, but it's still emerging.
That is so interesting, because I was going to say, I was going to ask why theatre lends itself so specifically to this EP, but is this music video you're describing, is that going to be part of this EP?
It is kind of, but it's not really relating to the other content as much. So it's sort of we've got this set of songs and they exist in several different spaces. That's
very interesting. I would love to talk about how you sort of segment those spaces, how you compartmentalize, because you're using the same sort of songs for so many different amazing things. It's very cool to hear.
It's confusing. I
can imagine.
I mean, it's sort of I feel like we could dwell on the same songs sort of forever and keep on drawing stuff out of them. We've talked about dozens of other music video ideas that it's at some point we have to be realistic and be we're not going to make all of these. But just I guess the songs they're definitely a little bit narrative, a little bit storytelling-y. But I mean, I think it's just the fact I've just spent probably almost as much time in sort of theatre as music, or maybe not quite as much, but it just sort of happens like that, and it's not like we sort of set out to let's make some songs that are going to fit really well with a theatrical setting or anything. It's just how they end up. Yeah,
that is very interesting, because it does feel like there is a natural theatricality to the music you make, which I find so enticing. I wonder about how you sort of apply different. It's amazing to me that you're able. I know so many musicians who get sick of playing their songs live after 2 months. I think it's so special that you love these songs and are willing to cherish them the way they should be cherished.
Yeah, we're pretty excited about moving on to some new stuff at the moment, because some of these have been kicking around for a few years, but it really feels like we're trying to be patient and just do the existing material justice, and kind of so the Veiled Isle, we did it once last year, we did it again in the Fringe Festival, we're doing it again in Wellington, and then we're also going to take it on tour to the South Island later this month. Cool. We're going to be so sick of it by the end, but it really feels like this is I think we all feel pretty strongly that it's a really cool work, and we want to get it out there. In the past, I think projects that I've been in, and maybe others, speaking of others too, we've done one really cool thing and you put a lot of work into it, and then that's it. It happens once. And it's definitely something I've drawn from the theatre spaces. People do show runs of 2 weeks plus. you perform that content over and over again. And I think that does get kind of grueling with music, but I think that's kind of the ethic we're kind of bringing to it. Yeah.
I suppose if you have so many different, as you say, like different ways of presenting your art, it kind of makes the art, fresh and new every time in a certain way. That's very, very cool. Shall we have another tune from the show?
Yeah. So riffing on we're excited about doing other stuff, we decided to play a new song.
Oh, that's very exciting.
Which has been played live once. Only because there's been no gigs. So.
No, fair enough. Oh, we're excited to hear it. What's it called?
It's called Dumb Luck.
Awesome.
Just have a sip of water before we play it.
Of course. No, that's very, very exciting. For those of you just joining in, we have Birdfeeder here in the studio with us for our Active Live today. I want to say a huge thank you to the support we get from NZ On Air Music every single week with this segment. They are absolutely awesome and do so much for us, so big thanks to them. And now take it away with your new song.
It's dumb luck, and you never seem to wanna give me a hand up. It's dumb luck, it's dumb luck.
Awesome. Now that is a brand new song from Birdfeeder. Thank you so much for playing that one. That was very cool. Now we're running out of time, but I did want to ask you a little bit about the show before we go. Now the Veiled Isle Fringe show relaunch is on June 10th, is that right?
Yep.
At
Next Friday.
Te Auaha?
Yep.
Wonderful. And what do you hope the audience takes away from the show?
I just hope it's a bit of a trippy time for people, and that I just think it's a really great introduction to the band. That you are just going to be like sucked in and just swallow the music whole.
That is beautiful. Yeah. Gosh, you are a lyricist through and through. That's such a poignant phrase. I love it. Now, thank you so much for joining us here today, Birdfeeder. It's been lovely having you all in. Any final things that you want to say to your fans out there before they head to the show? Anything you want to warn them about?
Do we need to warn people about anything? There's no strobe lighting. It's actually pretty. It's a show for all ages. So bring your grandmother, bring your kids. Probably not that young because it's quite loud. But I think I definitely like one of my 12-year-old piano students saw it and thought it was great. So awesome. Yeah. Bring the whole family.
Oh, that is so cool. Hey, bring the whole family down. Steph, Josh, and Marley, thank you so much for joining us on the show today. This has been Birdfeeder's Active Live. Go and check them out. The one night only Fringe, the Veiled Isle show going on June 10th at Te Auaha. Thank you so much for being here, guys. It's been lovely having you on.
Thank you. It's great. Awesome.
Active Live. Friday, 3:30. Every week a new band. In studio. Brought to you by NZ On Air.